The family of a man shot and killed by ICE is still searching for answers as questions mount over what exactly happened during the operation that ended his life. Lorenzo Salgado Araujo was a father of 3 U.S. citizen children, a Mexican national who had been living in the U.S. for 35 years without documentation but was seeking a work permit. He was killed in Houston on Tuesday after ICE officials claim he attempted to evade arrest after allegedly ramming his car into a law enforcement vehicle during a traffic stop. They say Salgado ignored verbal commands before an ICE agent fired his weapon in self-defense. The Harris County District Attorney says, though, that federal authorities are preventing local authorities from participating in the investigation. And Salgado's son tells a different story of what happened, noting the officers were in unmarked vehicles.
Had my father seen an emblem of ICE or an emblem that says anything about law enforcement agency, my father would have complied, he would have stopped, he would have not ran away because he feared for his life. He drove fast because he feared that someone would take his tools. One of his worst fears is that someone took away his work tools, because that's the tools of the van as well, because that is how he made his livelihood. That's how he raised us, that's how he fed us for the last 35, 40 years of his life.
ICE has yet to provide evidence to support their side of the story. And as MS Now has reported in our city's under siege investigations, ICE agents in Texas have a history of not telling the truth about violent encounters. You may remember our coverage of the case of Arnoldo Bazan Carrillo, a citizen who was just 16 when he was beaten by federal agents in Houston after they pursued him and his father in unmarked vehicles back in October. His father has since been deported to Mexico, and he joins me now. It's good to see you again. When you first saw this story, tell me what your reaction was and if it made you think of your own experiences.
Good morning, Antonia. Thank you for having me today. When I first heard about this story in the news, it sounded so familiar to my own story, my father. I feel devastated for Lorenzo Salgado Araujo's family to see his son trying so hard to when his heart broke into a million pieces. It reminds me of when I had to do the same thing for myself and my father, yet his father was killed. I cannot even imagine what they are going through. Unfortunately, I am also not surprised, Antonio, because when federal agents are breaking the law, they are not being held accountable. It is not fair what's happening to Lorenzo's family, of many other families out there. These family members are being taken and their families are being destroyed. When all they were trying to do was getting up, going to work to earn honest money, taking their children to school, providing for their children's future. And it makes me angry that they are being treated with no mercy and providing justice for the victims.
Can you tell me, Arnoldo, back when you were going through this happened in October to you and your dad. These agents, they approached you in unmarked cars. And when I spoke to them, DHS, the federal government, they told me that you and your dad had rammed the car into their vehicles. Tell me, though, what you say actually happened.
What actually happened in that situation, it was they stopped us. In that moment, they jumped out of the cars, trying to break the windows, pointing guns at us. And in that moment, me and my father ran because we didn't know they were kidnappers, law enforcement. We didn't know who they were, obviously. And ramming car part, we were just driving straight until they started ramming into trying to flip our car. What I thought was trying to kill us, flipping the car, honestly.
We're showing, for people who haven't seen our investigation into what happened to Arnoldo, we're showing you his father right there driving a car. And even though agents told MS Now that it was the family who struck the agent's car, we have videos that show that agents repeatedly struck Arnoldo's father's van. And you can see them so aggressively at times, Arnoldo thought they were trying to flip that car. Can you tell me, Arnoldo, when you see what happened to Mr. Araujo and what his kids are going through now, and you think about your own experience, do you see patterns in the behavior of ICE officers?
Yes, ma'am. I see they were stopped by unmarked cars. They didn't identify themselves, obviously. And in my opinion, I think they used excessive force at a point where they killed him which is not fair at all because I feel like they had the intention to kill him all along. You know, that's what I feel like they had the intention to do to me and my father, flipping the car, maybe trying to kill us. Who knows? And I feel like the pattern was we were in a white van. I feel like that was the pattern the whole time long.
They now say that DHS, the people who run ICE as an agency, that they're going to be controlling this investigation into the shooting of this father. Do you trust them to tell the public the truth?
No, I don't. They twisted the word completely out of their mouth.
So you feel that because of what they said about you and your father, you're not sure they're going to tell the truth about Mr. Araujo?
So 100% honest, they're going to try flipping everything that will happen, honestly, how they try to flip our stuff, because I think Mr. Araujo didn't have evidence to back himself up like we did, but I know they're going to try to flip it 100%.
Can I ask you one question really quickly? This is the last question. What would you say to lawmakers, to leaders in this country right now about what families like your family and their family, what you deserve right now?
I would say to the federal agents for them to be held accountable, for them to, if they're going to keep doing this, to at least be proper, like trained or some stuff like that. And honestly, or protocol. And honestly, in my opinion, deserve like at least like not to like harm somebody enough at a point where to kill them, And honestly, like that's about it.
Arnoldo Bazan Carrillo, it's good to see you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Antonio.